Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Yes, I know, brother. LB, thank you very much. I'm gonna fix that title after the show. I'm gonna fix that title after the show. Thank you very much. Right, I realized it too late, and it already had to start it. I already had to start it. Thank you very much for the correction. Okay, so we are going to be reviewing O'Shea Duke Jackson's video on this sister Tassal Lane, and her I guess he went over her Instagram page and some of the things she was saying on her Instagram page about dating black men, um and doing better, um black men's mediocrity, black men's supposed mediocrity, and black men are used to being mediocre. She did the six figures talk, of course. Black men making more than half less than their partners. Black men needing to do better. Her struggles in divesting, because she was told to divest by many black women on her TikTok, apparently. Um, the fact that she said she's not changing for anyone. Black men not being okay with black women's standards and boundaries, and us feeling entitled, right? Black men feeling entitled. Black men being infantilized, I guess, by the black community, primarily their black mothers, I guess. Um, and black men not being raised to do housework, right? So we're gonna go through all of that, right? We're gonna go through all of that now. Um, yeah. So let's go through this thing first. Black men's mediocrity, right? Okay. Black men are mediocre according to Miss Lane. Black men earn more than black women. Black men have better credit scores than black women. Black men still start more businesses than black women. Black men still employ more people than black women. Black men still have a better savings account than black women. Black men still have a better credit score than black women. Huh. So when she says black men are mediocre, what exactly does Miss Lane mean? Right? What exactly does Miss Lane mean? Black men are mediocre. If black men are mediocre, then what would you call their position compared to black women? Oh, stop. Yo, black men are the only ones that compare themselves to their women. Factually inaccurate, number one. Number two, you live in an open society now, a egalitarian society, so everyone's competing. Oops. Yeah. Mediocre. Huh. Now she speaks about this six-figure thing. Do I gotta say it? Do I have to state the obvious again for the 1 zillionth time on Mr. Z's channel? Only 10% of Americans earn six figures, give or take. About 10%. Dear black women, stop attempting to gaslight black men with these supposed omniscient, omnipotent, super wealthy, rich, non-black men, white men, right? Dear black women, we have access to the internet, to your chagrin, right? We have access to the internet. We can look it up. The average income for men in America is something like $40,000 a year. Stop attempting to gaslight black men with these super baller non-black men that don't exist in majority or even significant minority. Right? It's not a thing. Right? Once again, it is not a thing. Now, of course, Miss Lane being a black woman, of course she does the whole no other women are told to settle, right? Other women are raised and other men are raised to be providers and protect. Yawn. First of all, once again, Factually inaccurate. You got to explain to me if all these non-black men are these kick-ass providers, then where does the average income being $40,000 for men in America come from? Sorry, not average, median. Median income, not average, median. Where does that come from? Whoops. You're bad. Huh? 2/3 of men in America never earn more than $65,000 a year. I didn't just say black men. 2/3 of men never earn more than 65. Even the men that hit 100, most of them don't stay at $100,000 a year. Uh-oh. Miss Lane, you need to try harder. This is why y'all look foolish. All these talking points you could have got away with 2 decades ago, 3 decades ago. Can't get away with them now anymore. First of all, men are all speaking to each other. Secondly, black men are speaking to each other across the country. Third, we have access to the numbers readily available to us now. It's called high-speed internet. You should check it out. And fourth, we have come to the consensus that this is just a gaslighting technique. I want to also say to Miss Lane, when you tell black men to do better, no. Uh-oh. I wasn't supposed to say that now, was I? No. Go date out, go swirl, go divest, go eat some vagina. Shout out to Edward Anderson. No, this is what black men are. Black men are these loser bums that don't earn 6 figures and that are horrible husbands and fathers. So go date out. I agree with the women that were telling you to go divest. Go divest. We're going to revisit that, by the way. We are going to revisit that. Right? So Miss Lane speaks about black men making more than half less than their partners. First, black men still earn more than black women. So how are black men in majority earning more than half less? First of all, is that a real statement? There's some grammatical errors there, maybe, possibly. I don't know. I'm not an English professor. But the numbers don't add up. Black men still earn more than black women in America. So how is it that black men still earn more than black women, but black men earn half less? What? Y'all not tired of these talking points yet? Like, they're factually inaccurate. Like, I just need to say this. Your talking points are just not bad taste or in poor taste, right? Or mean. No, it's not that your statements are just mean. It's not that they're insulting. They're factually inaccurate. Y'all just talking to be talking. Complaining just to be complaining because you don't like your lot in life and the fact that you suck in dating. The fact that you can get, and more importantly, keep the type of men you think you deserve. So you go around insulting black men all day and being factually inaccurate. By the way, Miss Lane. Oh, Miss Lane, you could check everything I said. Right? Like, you're factually inaccurate. Black men still earn more than black women. That's a fact. All this provider talk, y'all could kick rocks with that. It's not a thing anymore. Unless you end up with that baller 6-figure dude that you're talking about. And even then, it's still not going to be a thing because depending on what city you live in, that's still not enough. Uh-oh. Right? And once again, shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson for bringing this to us. I saw her review. I wanted to give my own take as a brother that tells all these gaslighting, aspirational, I'm better than you, so you need to be on my level so I can live up to you type of women. Be very clear, that's what they're actually saying. I'm better than you, so you need to get on my level so that I can live off of you. What? Right? What are you talking about? Right? So let's be very clear what it is for Miss Lane. Now, this is something that we're going to continue to revisit. The divester comment. So O'Shea plays a succession of different videos from Miss Lane's channel on TikTok. And she responded to her original video, apparently, with a video speaking to women, I'm assuming black women, who are mainly telling her to divest, right? Date out, divest. And Miss Lane has a moment of honesty and pretty much says she's not every man's cup of tea. She knows she said it straight out. These non-black men ain't checking for me. Yeah, you heard right. A black woman that's 100% honest. Like that's something that you never hear black women admit. She didn't do the whole no, we're too loyal to black men thing. She chastises black men, but she also admits that these non-black men, she's not really their cup of tea either. Who she does well with are Caribbean men and African men. I told you, African brothers, them sisters see y'all as big dumb lames. They're gonna tell you that more and more, by the way. They're gonna become more and more overt. I need a screenshot the comments in the comment section. I can't remember if it was IG or YouTube where I was scrolling through the comments, and you see in the comments of the black women plotting on Nigerian men, particularly Nigerian men, because y'all are supposedly the super providers. They see y'all as lames that don't know the game, and y'all sense of manhood and masculinity will make y'all end up with one of these women that prey on y'all. I'm not joking when I say that. I make a little fun of y'all, but understand that's coming from a serious place. A lot of women, and not just black American women, not just black women, white women too, some Latina women too, see Nigerian men in particular, but overall African men as licks. Y'all hear people like Mr. Z say it. I want the brothers from Africa, particularly Nigerians, to understand it's not about making fun of you. I am going to take a couple of digs, but it's not about making fun of you. It's about letting you know it's not about your masculinity. It's not about your idea of manhood and you being a provider. They see you as a lick. What do you mean a lick, Mr. Z? More accurately, see you as a naive, dumb, lame, that they could use your sense of manhood and masculinity and being a super provider against you. Now that we gave that some context, right? Back to that divester comment. So the young lady was honest, right? She was honest. And I know that hurt a lot of women that look like her, black women that look like her, that have her phenotype. I know that hurt their heart. Because that's the real. Now she speaks about being a plus size woman or alternative woman, whatever that means. A plus size alternative woman like her, she knows she's not every man's cup of tea, and she knows they ain't checking for her. And she's gone out with non-black men already. So she was very honest. I've gone out with non-black men. They're not really, yeah, nah. Right? For those of you, the link is in the description. I know my title. I said quit or instead of quiet, right? The quiet part out loud. I know I said I misspelled it or whatever. Yeah. So my apologies. Thank you, Trell. A lick, a sponsor, a sugar daddy without sugar. Exactly. Right. This shout out once again to O'Shea Duke Jackson. This was a great video. I just wanted to give a different angle, but this was a great video review from him. I wanted to give a different angle. I'm not about necessarily telling these women, no, we are actually doing this great and yeah, no, fine, we're trash. Go date out. Shout out to Edward Anderson. Yeah, fine, we're trash. Go date out. Or this young lady said, dating out doesn't seem to be working for her. It's not really an option. Fine, and date same sex. Right? And better use this alternative woman. She's a Decepticon. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Right? Shout out to Rogish. This is why I'm telling them more and more, didn't eat the box. I said this already. I predicted this years ago. I said this to Chrissy, right? As the women are going to listen to you, Crystal and Kerzin, the women are going to listen to you. The young women, the young black women are going to listen to you. They're going to go out there. They're going to date. And when we say date, we know what we really mean. They're going to get piped down by non-black men. They're going to get used by non-black men. They're going to feel like toilet tissue after that. And then they're going to start sounding like K. Michelle. Men are bad people. Translation. I thought I would have said black men were bad people until I had experiences with non-black men. So now I'm going to just say black men are bad people. Right? And this young lady straight up told you, yeah, nope. So essentially, this young lady is telling us she is insufferable. Dear ma'am, and I'm gonna review later on today. My afternoon show is probably gonna be reviewing Obsidian's videos. I'll put the video up later, right, to give you guys a chance to watch it before I come on. But yeah, so once again, y'all are just saying y'all are insufferable. If you say you can't make it work with black men, you dated outside your race, it didn't work with non-black men. Translation, it's you. See, this is the part that and that's why, well, I misspelled it, but that's why I called it the quiet part out loud. You're admitting it's you, young lady. See, that's why a lot of black women don't want to tell y'all that they dated outside the race, got piped down outside the race, because they don't want to admit, okay, it is me. If I can't make it work with black men, I've been outside the race, I've dated Latino, I've dated white, it didn't work, then that means it's me. Yes, it's you. That's what black men were trying to tell you before you dated out. Yes, it's you. You're insufferable. Shout out to Chrissy, who's been dating outside of her race since she was in high school. Right? Right? Shout out to Ostefko, who's been dating out, who either has been dating out or has been wanting to date out of her race since what, middle school or something like that, she said? Writing poems to non-black dudes. Ain't nothing funnier than a black woman that say, black men treat me better. I've been dating outside of my race for 20 years. Then why aren't you married to one of them? Oops. If they treat you better, then why aren't you married? Unless you don't want to be married. Which, first of all, we don't believe, but okay, fine, let's say that. Right? This is the way women sound, black women sound when they don't get their way. Character assassination, shaming, insulting, right? Sign language, of course. Shame, insults, guilt, the need to be right. But yes, the character assassination, the insulting, the belittling, the question of your masculinity, the question of your manhood, the questioning of your humanity, quite frankly. Right? Because you're not getting the type of men you want and you're not getting them to stay. So it got to be black men's fault, except the fact that you told us it ain't working with white men neither. Yikes. Trail with the quotes. With the juvenile quote. Right? So that's you know, once again, if it's not working with non-black dudes, then could it possibly be you? Now, once again, the young lady does the whole black women are told to accept less. Of course, tying this to non-black men. I mean, yeah, tying this to non-black women. I'm sorry. Madam, you don't have to accept less. Just date out. You don't have to accept less from black men. Just date same sex. Black men are trash. Fine. Date out or date same sex. Right? Date out or date same sex. The whole black women are always being told to accept less. No, black women are told the real and you don't want to take that. Fine, you can stay in your delusion and go date out. White men, Latino men, Asian men, Arab Persians, indigenous men, right? America has a diverse array of men across the country. You have 50 states, right? How many couple thousands of counties? A few thousand counties, 50 states, too many cities to list. Bunch of different race, ethnicities, religions. You don't have to stay with black men, fine. All of this whining of black men not being on black women's level, then go find a non-black man that you think is omniscient and omnipotent and that's on your level. No, I'm gonna be like the black women in your TikTok and tell you to go swirl and divest. Go do that. Right? And I'll take it a step further and suggest that you entertain same-sex relationships. Do better. No. Right? The whole do better black man. No. It's interesting to hear someone insult you, belittle you, question your manhood and your masculinity, because if you're saying that other men are raised to be providers and protectors and black men are not, then you are questioning black men's masculinity. Fine. If you're going to do all of that, then I suggest you date out. No, black men will not do better. Fine. Here we go. Black men won't do better. Then go date out. There you go. Right? Black men in majority are not on your level. Go date out. It's that simple. Right? Black women always being told to accept less. You don't have to. You and Chrissy and Yanni and whoever the hell, Lexus Exodus and Mahogany Pink, go date out. Well, Lexus Exodus already married out, so fine. Go date out. Marry out. Right? Or do the same-sex relationship thing. Right? They just stay insulting and then got the, think about that. Belittle, insult, demean, once again, sign language. And then at the end tell you do better. No. Now what? Oh yeah, I'm still in all of Ed's talking points right now. No, now what? Uh-oh. See, that wasn't supposed to happen. They were supposed to talk about these omniscient, super omnipotent, non-black men that are raised to be providers for their women. They're supposed to gaslight you with Superman, right? And Captain America, right? And Neymar, right? And Moon Knight, and name the characters that go with different ethnicities. They're supposed to gaslight you with all these different dudes, and then somehow black men are like, you know what, black women are right. We need to step up to the level of these non-black men that are super omnipotent and omniscient and yawn. Date them then. Hopefully they'll ask for your hand in marriage and you marry them and move out into the suburbs and have your tragic mulatto or Blasian or whatever the hell type of children, and Y'all go, raise mixed kids that end up with white kids, and then your kids just get whiter and whiter, and in 3 generations they'll be just white folks, right? There you go, just talking. And yeah, the young lady says she's not everyone's first choice. That was the comment she made. She knows she's not everyone's first choice. She even has to question if she's black men's first choice. Well, once again, this is when it gets real fascinating. So if you know your best chances with black men, why would you keep on insulting your best chance? Your best chances with black, and at least she's self-aware enough to know that for the most part, she ain't gonna get nowhere with the Latino and the white men. I'm not even gonna mention the Asian dudes. So if you know that, you think it's smart to keep on talking crap. I'm sorry, critiquing, because they want to hide behind these type of words. You think it's smart to continuously critique black men, insult them? You think that's smart? That's gonna get you what you're looking for, what you want? How is that working for you? Right? How is always insulting black men and calling it critiquing black men? How is that working for you? How is insulting black men and then dating out and realizing, oh crap, black men are actually better than this? How is that working for you? How is getting piped by a white dude who actually puts your sex needs last? How is that working for you? Right? And she admits that she knows that for a lot of these dudes, if they even choose her, for the most part, it's going to be a fetish. So you know what it is. You still want to talk crap though. It's not, you don't have an issue with black men. Let's be very clear, young lady. You have an issue with the type of black men you want, not wanting you back. And I can't wait for the day for black women to just admit, my issue is the men that I want don't want me, and I feel like I'm stuck with all the men, black men, that I don't want. Because you don't have an issue attracting black men. You have an issue attracting and keeping the type of black men you think you deserve. Sorry, feel you deserve. And it's always that for black women. They talk around it. They'll sometimes imply and suggest it, but they'll never come out and say it. I'm surprised this young lady even admitted that divesting is really not, it's really not going to be a thing for her. That level of honesty was surprising. But you didn't go all the way, young lady. Miss Lane, you did not go all the way. The men you feel you deserve. Shout out to Erica, um, Erica K. Williams, Ebony K. Williams. I said Erica, Ebony K. Williams. Shout out to her. Right? Y'all issue is that the men you think you deserve ain't interested. Right? Y'all give me a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Yep. So, you know, the young lady, you could tell what her real issue is, but of course, can't come out and say it, right? Can't come out and say it. Now she speaks about being plus size and unconventional. Oh boy. If you know being plus size is an issue, for men in general, right? For black men also, but for men in general, You want to maintain, and this is something that O'Shea also caught. You're not going to change for anyone. Then deal with the consequences of not changing for anyone. Look, this is why I say the internet will expose us all. This is why I say let them talk. Because the more they talk on the internet, they will expose themselves, and that will show the world more and more what their real issue is. Their real issue is they don't want to change for anyone. They don't want to even change to better themselves, and they're throwing a fit because they're not getting the outcomes that they want for not changing. What? Wait, what? Wait a minute, what? You want to stay you, okay, fine, nothing wrong with that. But you want the outcomes of staying you. Wait, you want the outcomes of a changed, improved, better you without you actually, shout out to better you, without you actually changing you or modifying you or bettering you? What? I want to be able to lift 200 pounds without training to lift 200 pounds, without going to the gym. Right? Huh. Right? I want to be able to shoot threes without going to the gym, without going to the basketball court, without playing other people, without learning defense and offense, without training. What? And that's what this young lady is actually admitting to. That's what she's actually saying, right? And I'm sorry for the background, y'all. Somebody decided to pull up, open their door, and play music loud because that's what we do. The look at me, the attention whoring that doesn't work because you're not in that part of town. Yeah. Oh well. Okay. So this young lady clearly has an issue, at least for what it seems to like to Mr. Z. Has an issue accepting that this is not going to work for her because it's not working for her. And she's complaining because it's not working for her, although she admits she's not going to change anything. She doesn't she cares, but she doesn't care enough. Not enough to change at least, right? And that's okay. But you got to eat those consequences, ma'am, right? Now, the young lady also speaks about, and we're speaking about what's it to what's her name again? To Saul Lane, Mr. Saul Lane on TikTok, who O'Shea Duke Jackson reviewed. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. The young lady also speaks about black men having an issue with black women's standards and boundaries, right? Boundaries and standards, and wanting more out of life. Okay. Black women want more out of life on black men's dime. And guess what? That wouldn't even be a problem if black women like you were willing to do some of what black men wanted, maybe. Oh, but that sounds too much like equivalent exchange, and we can't do that. That sounds too fair. And we can't be fair to black men, right? Oh no. We can't be fair to black men, right? Oh no. Black men are not used to black women's boundaries and standards, and black women wanting more out of life. Translation: I want to live the opulent, upper middle class, rich or elite or wealthy white woman's life, and black men are not used to black women demanding that lifestyle. Hmm. Just take a white aristocrat, take Camilla, and paint her black, and that's the life I want to live right now. And where's the black man to provide me that lifestyle? Right? And constantly through this young lady's videos that O'Shea covered is this era of superiority. When once again I went through it. Let's go through it again. Black men still earn more than black women. Black men still start more businesses than black women. Black men still employ more people than black women. Black men have better credit scores than black women. Black men have better savings than black women. Uh-oh. So, black men still clock more hours at work than black women. So when this young lady speaks about black men needing to do better, when she speaks about black men not used to black women wanting more out of life, and black men not being used to black women having boundaries and standards, you have standards for a group of people that's doing better than you as a group? Okay, you have more college degrees, fine. Do you start more businesses? They said black women have the fastest growing number of businesses. They never said black women have more businesses than black men. And who was it? Medium Man that covered it, or someone covered it? More businesses start by black men by what, like damn their 20% margin? Almost. Was it what, 36, 37% of black businesses are by black women, when it's like 55, 56, 50 something, like, right? Something like that for black men. And something like 8% or something like that is between black men and black women, like a couple. Good point. And Trail Bentley says, Z, you miss her point. She only see hood niggas and felons as viable. Therefore, all black men don't exist. Well, right. Well, if that's the case, then date out or eat vagina. If all you see around you is Pookie and Ray Ray, then and you don't want to expand your options in the black race, I don't know if the other black men want to have you now, then date out. Right? Now here's some of my favorite part. I gotta tell y'all, I told y'all so, even though like y'all agree with me, I just want to say it just because. Black men being infantilized. Black men not doing housework. Black men weren't raised to do housework. I told y'all half of this is because their brother didn't have to wash dishes when they were kids. Y'all thought I was joking. I wasn't joking. Right? I had to wash dishes. Junior didn't have to wash dishes. Did he have to mow the lawn? Yeah, but that's not the point. Uh-oh. Did you have to wash your parents' car? Yeah, but that's not the point. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. They have to clean up the gutters, but yeah, that's not the point. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. You have to go out with your uncle and do manual labor. Yeah, but that's not the point. Uh-huh. He didn't have to wash dishes, and he got to come home an hour or two after I did. Our parents infantilized him. Yeah, that's it. Y'all thought I was joking. Half of these women really are mad about who they couldn't get in high school, who wasn't attracted to them in high school, and they're also mad that they feel like their mothers and their fathers babied their brothers. These women are 30-something, 40-something, 50-something, 60-something years old, still talking about their parents babying their brothers, still talking about who wasn't attracted to them when they were in high school. I am not joking. And she said it. Right? We infantilize. Look, I've said this to my own mother. I've said this to girl cousins. You got to be careful how you speak around your children to your other children, especially your daughters. Your daughters grow resentment for black boys and black men because they feel like you baby their brothers too much. And because you speak crazy about your sons in front of your daughters, They learn to speak crazy about black men when they get older. They learn that from their mothers. They learn that from their fathers. They learn to resent black men because they low-key resent the relationship between their mother and their brothers and their father and their brothers. Right? It's as if, in a weird way, these particular black women are jealous of the oppression of black men because of the attention. God damn, Mr. Z, you said that. In a weird way, they're jealous that the eyes of this society is on black men because of black men's death and oppression by this society. They only see the attention, not the oppression. Hmm. They only see the attention, not the knee on the neck. They only see the attention, not the choke out. They only see the attention, not the screaming teenager on the phone. They only see the attention, not the boyfriend dying on the passenger side of the car. They only see the attention, not a freaking middle-aged white man spraying a car full of teenage black boys. They only see the attention. Say her name, right? They only see the attention, not the tone of voice mom takes with their brother. They only see the attention, not the tone of voice dad takes with their brother. They only see the attention, not the discipline. And then they're jealous for life. Y'all heard me? For life. They're jealous of their brothers for life. We infantilize black men. We infantilize black men in the society. Meanwhile, the youngest person to ever be put to death in America is a black boy. He couldn't even fit in the seat right, but we infantilize black men. We watched a black man die on camera, being tortured to death for damn near 10 minutes, but we infantilize black men. Hmm. Black boys are killed by their mothers more than black girls are, but we infantilize black men. Let me say that part again. Black boys are killed more, child abused more than black girls are. Black boys are killed and child abused more than black girls are, but we infantilize black men. Huh. Hmm. Infantilize black men. A third of black men are convicted felons in America, but we infantilize black men. We just watched a trial where a woman who was cheating on her husband got mad at her side dude for having other side women and sent her brothers to go kill him. One of her brothers got popped, the other one got killed. And we watched that young lady who attempted to use proxy violence lose a sibling and got another sibling almost killed. And we infantilize black men. We use black men as weapons against other black men. And this young lady is speaking about infantilizing black men. We don't care about our own brothers' lives to the point where we send them to go kill another black man. But yet this lady is speaking about infantilizing black men in the black community. Huh. We infantilize black men. We have stories of black women killing their baby daddies because he didn't get her what she thought she deserved for Valentine's Day. We have stories of black women killing their fiance on the day of the wedding because they got into an argument about breakfast. We have stories of black women killing their husband of decades with a hammer over his head, tried to lie to the cops and said he used to abuse her. The daughter came through and said, yeah, my mom was a drunk. My dad didn't abuse my mom. My mom was the one abusing my dad. Huh. But we infantilize black men. Huh. We watch Walter Scott get shot in the back running from a police who was going after him because he had records for child support, but yet we infantilize black men. We watch a black man get killed at a goddamn train station, but we infantilize black men. Hmm. Infantilize black men, everyone. We infantilize black men in the black community and overall society. Fine, she's not talking about overall society. Black men, black boys are killed more by their mothers than black women. Black women kill boys more than they kill girls. They kill their sons more than they kill their daughters. They child abuse their sons more than they do their daughters. But yet we infantilize black men. Fine, she wasn't speaking about outside the black community. Explain that. Huh. Infantilize, she says. Black men kill black boys more than they kill black girls. Black women kill black boys more than they kill black girls. But yet we infantilize black men. Huh. And this is what passes for good commentary in black women world online. This is good commentary. This is what black women on TikTok are clapping it up for. And yes, girl. And yes, that's what they're yesing for. The black community infantilizing black men. And yet all the data shows how just about everybody's going after black men. In the black community, outside the black community, they could talk about this femicide all they want. They could talk about this femicide all they want. Do they really want to talk about what's happening to the boys in the homes with the single moms? Huh. I'm sorry I had to spend some time on that one. But let's be very clear. Grown adult black women are still holding on to the resentment they have for their brothers because their moms and their dads maybe didn't have him washing dishes as much as her. Maybe. And that's if we believe that. And they hold on to that resentment for decades. They hold on to the resentment that they had to be in the door at 8 o'clock and Junior got to be outside until 10 o'clock for decades. Dad then passed away and they bring it up at the damn funeral. You got hate in your heart because your brother got to come home 2 hours later than you did? It's that serious to you? As a 30 something, 40 something, 50 something, 60 something year old? Huh. Infantilize. Infantilize. When mom is more likely to kill me and dad is more likely to kill me, but I'm the one infantilized? Yeah, that's it. I'm more likely to get killed outside by other black folks. I'm more likely to get killed outside by other non-black folks. I'm more likely to get killed inside by mom. I'm more likely to get killed inside by dad, but I'm the one that's infantilized. Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm. Right? And black women are the most unprotected, disrespected group of people in America. Yeah. The data says otherwise, but okay. Right? The data says otherwise, but yeah, okay. Right? Because really, these women, the Miss Lanes of the world, they're really jealous of the attention. As if the attention stops the death. I could understand if the attention stopped the death. I could understand if the attention stopped the abuse. I could understand if the attention stopped the negative PR, right? The dehumanization. I could understand if the attention was doing that. The attention on black males' death is just new forms of being hung. It's just new forms of extrajudicial killing. That's what you're jealous of? That's what you feel like this is how this society is infantilizing black men, or the black community is infantilizing black men? Infantilize black men. Your jealousy knows no bounds. Let's be very clear. And yes, Mr. Z went there, and no, the young lady don't seem like she was going anywhere there. Yeah, I'm saying it. They're really jealous because the cameras be on you when you get murdered by the police, and not even all of you. Okay, fine. 200 and something black men get killed by the police unarmed in a year. Fine, cool. And the media covers two, three, four, five cases, maybe in a year. Maybe. And you're jealous of that? That's what you're jealous of? Right? You're jealous that a black woman had to watch her son get killed by her white racist neighbor who claimed that her sons were in his house stealing his gun. They found the gun in his house. You jealous of that? That's what you're jealous of? Hmm. That's what you're jealous of. Black man walking away from the police with a knife in his hand. He's walking away. Clear as day, walking away. They light him up and kill him. That's what you're jealous of? That's infantilizing black men, ain't it? Right? That's infantilizing black men. Right? This is not only insulting to black men, it's dangerous. But black women said, if I can't have you the way I want you, then you might as well be dead. I might as well spread negative PR about you. See, if you ain't going to be with me the way I want you, then you might as well not exist. What, I'm going to leave you for non-black women? Or black women that's more fit? Or black men that's more malleable? Oh no, you might as well be dead. If you ain't with me, you might as well be dead. And so I will spread negative PR about you. I will tell you to step it up, right? Do better, right? Do better even though you're already doing better than me. Ooh, goddamn. Stop comparing yourself. Black men are the only men that compare themselves to their women. Factually inaccurate. Right? Why are we the ones who have to accept black men's mediocrity? Black men are doing better than black women. Right? Black men are still doing better than black women. How do black women like Miss, what's her name again? Miss. Let's make sure because Mr. Z put it down. Miss Lane. How do black women like Miss Lane speak about black men doing better when black men literally employ black women to talk crap about black men? Literally, the griot is owned by Byron Allen, and Ebony K. Williams is talking crap about black men. Make that make sense. Right? Make that make sense. The griot's owned by Byron Allen, and Ebony K. Williams is talking crap about black men. She works for the griot. Yeah. Imagine that. Your current bread and butter, your current platform, you're using it to go around talking crap about black men when your current platform is being funded by or owned by a black man. So the young lady is just going off on her channel. That's all she did, right? She says she's not going to change for anyone, right? She calls herself an alternative black woman. She calls herself plus size and unconventional. She says she knows she's not anyone's first choice, right? She calls black men mediocre essentially, while black women being told to settle for mediocre black men, that type of talk, right? This is just a woman that just fundamentally either doesn't know the numbers, doesn't care to know the numbers, or doesn't care about the numbers. Right? As I said before, 2/3 of men in America, not just black men, never earn more than $65,000 a year. Where are all these cis-figure men? That's 2/3. Yoink, off the table. And remember, half of people in America don't work. America has 331 million, Americans, and about half of them don't work. And out of those half, about half of them don't even pay taxes. Whoa. And black women wonder why they struggling to date. A man has a job, you better get down where you can. See, when Charles tell y'all you meet a black man that's earning more than $50,000 a year, you better kiss him. He ain't joking. That's the reality. But you got all these women that's watching all these reality TV shows and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. By the way, that's not exclusive to black women. Right? Delusional talk. Right? And better use is, Z, if he owns it, wonder if she shot her shot at Byron and it bricked. Maybe. On that level, it's probably very subtle. So she would have some type of plausible deniability. He would have some type of plausible deniability, but possible. Right? Ebony shot her little shot in a super subtle way. It didn't go the way she wanted. And both of them have plausible deniability. Right? But they just be talking and be talking. The women like this, they're just talking to be talking. Right? The Miss Lanes, especially if you say you're not really good with non-black men, then you're just talking to be talking. Right? And so let's read Detroit's comment. Let's pause right here. Thank you for the super chat, Detroit. And Detroit says they don't want to talk about how they use patriotic on black men death to gain $80 million, and not one dime has on their community, but buying mansions on white suburbs, but BLM, right? Okay, I get what you're saying. Look, BLM was another example of what we're speaking about, right? Using the blood, lives, and memories, shout out to the Roger Report, using the blood, lives, and memories of black men to benefit black women, black LGBTQ, right? Oh, he's meant to patronize. Okay. Right. So let's reread that. They don't want to talk about how they use and patronize black men death to gain $80 million. Yes. And not one dime has I think you're trying to say not one dime has on their community, but buying mansions in white suburbs, but Black Lives Matter, right? Yeah, but we already know. And unfortunately for them, now non-black people know. What's going to hurt a lot of black women is that they're going to get what they're asking for. It's just not going to look like what they think they want. You want to yell from the mountaintops about how trash black men are, and you want non-black people to take you seriously. Have you ever considered what happens if non-black people actually take you seriously? If non-black men see how desirous you are for their attention, what happens when they start playing you? Right? What happens when they start preying on you? See, Miss Lane admits she doesn't want to be any man's fetish. Well, you keep on talking crap about black men. How do you think this turned out? What you think you think that's constructive criticism you're doing over there? Right? When they insult you, they like to pass it off as constructive criticism. When they talking crap about black men, they just like to, look, y'all so soft. Look, y'all are not used to being critiqued. right? Yeah, what she said, y'all not used to boundaries and standards. Yeah, that's it. You're not used to standards. You think you're being attacked. You always feel like you're being attacked, even though I am attacking you, right? All the shaming language, all the character assassination, it's not working. It hasn't worked, right? These people are often insufferable, and yet they're talking crap about you, right? So y'all give me a minute. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Give Mr. Z 1 minute. And we're back for a few seconds. We're back. We're back. And Better You says, and thank you for the super chat, brother. Better You says, question: what happens when these types have sons? I'm gonna cover that this afternoon. I'm gonna cover a video. I'm gonna put it up, the link up, from Obsidian. I'm gonna cover that this afternoon, right? And yeah. So I'm gonna cover that. I'm sorry for the kind of lack of attention. This young lady just pulled up random car information. We gotta get less serious right now for a second. I'm looking at getting a new daily. Mr. Z is looking at getting a new daily, and there's a couple of cars on my list. One of them being the ugly ass Nissan Juke Nismo RS, because I actually like it. I don't actually think it's ugly. I think it's quirky, but I know that y'all think it's ugly, so I call it ugly. And a young lady just pulled up in one, and she is a black young lady, and I'm gonna actually ask her how is it owning that. I'm waiting for her to get out the car. So I'm gonna tell y'all I'm a pause in a minute, right? So just letting y'all know, right? I'm just waiting for her to get out the vehicle. I don't want to, but I don't, you don't want to be creepy with it, and you don't want them to think you're trying to talk to them on that level, but really you really are gonna ask them about the car, right? So just letting y'all know, just letting y'all know. Yeah, y'all give me a second. Homegirl pulled off. She didn't even put gas. I thought she was gonna put gas. Look at that. Right. I didn't even get a chance to ask my question. Like, how's owning that? How do you like that? Because I really actually want to know, right? I really actually want to know. But yeah, going back to better use question, and give me a second. I know my background is noisy. I know my background is noisy. Um, and we're back. All right, we are back. We are back. So yeah, yeah, I just wanted to know what owning the Juke, because she has a Juke Nismo. I actually want the Juke Nismo RS, which is like a little bit more powerful. Yeah, more rare. They're actually pretty damn rare actually. And I actually, like I said, I think they're quirky looking. Um, and I actually kind of like them. And it's a vehicle I'm probably gonna own if I do get it for the next 6 or 7 years, because I really want a Q50 Red Sport, but I'm not paying what they're charging for them right now. So I'm looking at either a Sentra Nismo, a Juke Nismo RS, or an Infiniti M37 XS Aero. If I could find an Infiniti M37 XS, I'll be okay with the technology package, preferably. But there, once again, Mr. Z is picking a bunch of cars that are kind of rare, kind of, right? So whichever one I find first for the price I'm looking to spend, that's the one I'm gonna get, right? All of my friends and even my girl are leading to the Infiniti, but yeah, it's not as easy to find that particular car in that particular spec, especially in Florida, right? So yeah. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. I'm gonna cover that later, better you. So because I do think it's very interesting these women having this worldview, having sons, right? I do think the world humbles them when they realize sometimes, right? But the world humbles them when they realize, oh crap, the world does treat my son different than it treated me, right? Or when they have a daughter and a son and they realize how different the world treats their daughter than their son. But I still think that takes a certain level of awareness that I don't know if Black women have now. Maybe our mothers or possibly our grandmothers did, but I don't know if Black women now have that. Once again, it's back to the jealousy of the attention, right? And you can make the argument that Black women now don't have that awareness, right? They'll see the world treating their sons different. They'll see the plight of their son, and they won't really understand how to make sense of that, right? That's actually a really good question. I'm going to cover that a little bit later. And you'll see why I'm tying that to the video that I want to cover of Obsidian later, right? There's something very telling in that video. That's why I want to actually, and it's very right. Your timing is actually perfect. Because I do want to cover that a little later, right? So yes, once again, thank you for the super chat, right? So yeah, you know, this young lady, she just spoke to the jealousy, right? She just spoke to the jealousy, and it's understandable, right? She spoke to a certain level of anger, um, for being who she is and not getting the outcome she thinks she deserves, right? And like, this is the one place I agree with the conservative brothers 100% on this, right? Like, there is no socialism in dating, ladies. There is no communism in dating. It just doesn't exist. There's no, quite frankly, like, you you might not even get meritocracy in dating. It all depends, right? You're more likely to get meritocracy in dating and marriage, right? But like, that's not a given either. There are no guarantees in this. And then make it worse, some of these people are actually insufferable, mean, catty, a-holes, and they still expect good outcomes. We're not even talking about if they're actually good people. Some of these people, are not good people. Shout out to the Roger Report, shout out to Oliver the Gray. Some of these people are actually not good people, and yet they still expect good outcomes in their dating life, in their marriage life. How is this supposed to work? Right? How's this supposed to work? right? And brother, or brother or sister, I think you're a brother. Let's see if I can pronounce this. Corey Yeller. I'm gonna say your name is Corey Yeller, right? We're gonna go with that. You tell me if I'm wrong, right? You tell me tell Mr. Z if he's pronouncing it wrong. But yeah, thank you for the super sticker. Let's keep that up for a little while. And thank you for the super sticker, brother. I see you have a comment further down. I'm gonna highlight that in a minute, right? Actually, we'll highlight it now, and we'll leave the other one up. And the brother said they're all gonna go down with the ship. I think ego and pride is gonna make them go down with the ship, right? I think we have some black women that are gonna skirt under the gate right before the gate closes on their life, right? These are like, to me, I call them like the Mariah Careys and Janet Jacksons of the world, right? They skirt under the, now they might still get divorced later, right? But they skirt under the gate right before it closes. And they hurry up and get married and have a kid, maybe stay married for 5-10 years, and then they get divorced, or they just stay married until them or their husband passes. And then you have all the others, like Vivica A. Fox and the like, who just can't ever seem to get, whether they get married or not, they never have kids. Right? The Ebony K. Williams of the world. Yeah, they got married once supposedly back in their 20s or 30, or 20s, and then they divorce, and then that's just it. Right? The Claudia Jordans of the world. Right? The Mayas of the world, the Chilis of the world. Right? Those are the people that they they might go down with the ship. They go down with the ship. I'm with you on that. Right? It's kind of sad, actually. Right? You know, you what, and I've said this, as much as black men are doing better than black women, as much as black women insult and belittle and disparage and shame and insult and guilt and have the need to be right against black men in particular, it's not really black men saying black women are not on their level. It's black women, right? The young lady says something about, I'm constantly being told I'm fat and that I need to date, in my weight class, or I need to date my particular group. Well, if you're earning less than $50,000 a year, and this is when they get into their catty stuff, right? They get into their snarky catty back and forth thing. Well, if you're earning less than $50,000 a year, then maybe you need to date on your level. Here's the problem: the women that are still underneath that man's level think they're better, i.e., women like you. Ooh, goddamn, Mr. Z. Now, I'm not saying that this young lady earns less than $50,000 a year. I'm saying that women who are not doing as well as their male counterparts still think they're better than their male counterparts. Right? That part. Right? Not doing as well as your male counterparts, but speaking as if you are. Right? Somebody play Get on My Level in the background, please. Alexa, black men, women walking around playing Get on My Level to black men, and yet black men are doing better than black women. Right? That's the fascinating part. speaking about black men's supposed me. And you know what's fascinating? I've said this before. I need to bring this back into my lexicon, into my repertoire of phrases. We're only 50 some odd years out of Jim Crow, and black women acting like we 2 centuries out. And why are black men not where white men are? I need to start reminding people of that in these conversations. We're only 50 years out of Jim Crow, and that's Jim Crow on paper. By the way, I'm starting it off with federal laws against Jim Crow laws, because a lot of states were still striking down Jim Crow laws all throughout the 70s and even early 80s. You still got Jim Crow laws coming off the books in the 90s and in the early aughts. These women are talking crazy about black men when Jim Crow laws are still being taken off the books in the 90s and in the aughts, all through the 70s, all through the 80s. Right? These women are telling black men to do better when black men are doing better than these black women. The black women that got the nerve to tell black men to do better. Right? Do better. No, ma'am. Go date out. Go marry out. Right? And once again, thank you for the super chat, brother Corey Eller. I think I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Right? And once again, shout out to Ed for that. Yeah, okay, you know what? Black men ain't gonna budge. Black men are trash. Fine, cool. Date out. Oh, you tried that already? It didn't look that well? Okay, date same sex. You already said you're alternative woman, you're plus size woman, right? You're unconventional, you're not gonna change for anyone. Then date same sex. As a matter of fact, young lady, women like you, that's what they often do. Hey, that rhymes. Women like you, that's what they often do. They talk about how loyal they are to black men. Then they secretly date out, get piped by non-black men. Let's call a thing a thing. So they get piped by a white man or a Latino man. They try again. They get piped by another white man, Latino man. They might try again, realize it's not working because they're the real problem, but they're not going to change themselves. So they date same sex. And then they start fighting the same sex in these homes and apartments across the country. I'm not joking. The data shows it. Right? I'm not joking. The data shows it. Give me a second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Okay. Just have to send this message, and there we go. All right. All right. Eat the box. Date same sex. Shout out to Rogish. Yeah, I say it a lot. Eat the box. Practice political lesbianism like a lot of, well, not a lot, but the other women that admit that's what they are. Right? And why is Mr. Z doing this morning? Understand the negative PR. These particular alt-right, I said alt-right, sorry, but maybe when it comes to black men, yeah, actually alt-right when it comes to black men. These particular alternative, unconventional, plus size black women, these are the ones that often work behind the scenes in these kind of BET settings, in these VH1 settings, right? They're the ones that work behind the scenes at these black magazines, at The Root, at The Griot, right? That's why Mr. Z speaks about these particular women and black men. That's why y'all hear me bring up the grapevine often, because these are the women, and these are the oftentimes the black men, they're black feminist cohorts, the black male feminists. These are the ones that's working behind the scenes. These are the ones that keep that negative PR about straight black men going. It's women like her. It's women like her. God damn, I hate that you actually paid for it. I hate that you paid for it, Big Kev, because I saw when Trell said it earlier, and I wasn't gonna say it out loud. Not that you paid for it, not gotta say it. Hopefully, it take me a while to get to it, right? And Better You says, and thank you for the super chat, Better You. And Better You says, I know some with crazy views that have sons. True as hell. Some of them wake up. Some of them are rough as F, right? In how they deal with their sons. It's shocking. They have contempt for men. You have a son and you have contempt for men. How is this supposed to work? And then when your son turns around in the future and marries a Latina or a white woman or Asian woman, then other black women are going to be speaking about how these black men ain't loyal to black men. Excuse me, these black men aren't loyal to black people, not loyal to black women. Shoot, you might have messed around and make it. Your son turns out to enjoy the same sex, then black women are going to be talking about him about that too, right? We are not here to pathologize black women. We are not here to necessarily insult black women or be mean. No, black women are human beings, like black men are human beings, like other non-black people are human beings. And what we've done in the black community by continuously putting black women on the moral pedestal above black men and acting like black women are beyond reproach in when they speak about black men is we invite women like this young lady to be even more insulting to black men, to be even more belittling to black men, to get their classist take off on black men, right? When you speak about black men's mediocrity, when black men are doing better than black women, what are you talking about? Right? When you tell black men do better, you're assuming that you and other black women are in a better position than black men. And you have to show me where the data says that. Outside of college, where does the data say that? Like I said, black 1/3 of black men are convicted felons, and black men still earn more than black women. Huh. Black women have more college degrees by black men by 2 times, and yet black men still earn more than black women. Black men not only earn more than black women, black male entrepreneurs still employ more black people than black women, still employ more people than black women, still have better credit scores than black women, still are in less debt than black women. Now you could say, oh, but the student loan debt, yeah, still are in less debt than black women. The reason why I'm covering this on a Friday morning, right, is because people like Miss Lane are the ones that end up working behind the scenes and that goad on those anchors to talk crap about you. If they don't become an anchor themselves and talk crap about you. This young lady is just another Ebony K. Williams and Kim Foster. Right? This is just another Ebony K. Williams and Kim Foster. All that talk about mediocrity. So y'all could play Meek Mill's There's Levels to This in the background, right? Y'all could play Get on My Level, right? Who was that again? Um Lil Scrappy and who else, right? From that Trillville album. Y'all could play that, right? Play all the there's at least what a good 3, 4 rap songs I could think of that was produced over the past 15, 20 years talking about levels. Y'all play all of that in the background because that's what these ladies are essentially saying, right? Get on my level type talk. Get on my level type talk. So, you know, to finish up answering, because I went on a tangent, y'all know Mr. Z. To finish up answering Better Use statement, these women having sons, brother, uh, it depends. They could apply so much pressure that their son tries to get away from them and becomes the next great football player, basketball player. Um, I mean, we've seen it in the NBA. Shout out to LeBron James. With these weirdo mothers. We see it in draft day comes up and their son decides to go to one team instead of another team that they wanted him to go to, and they damn near throw a temper tantrum in front of everyone, including the cameras rolling, because their son decided this team instead of that team. Oh, y'all forgot about that, huh? No, Mr. Z didn't forget. Right? Yeah. Yep. Right. And y'all give Mr. Z 1 minute. Mr. Z got to do boyfriend things real quick. Give Mr. Z 1 minute. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Let on a side note, and shout out to Better You when he was like, "Love on her, man." Look, I remember that comment Better You a couple months ago. On a side note about this emotional intelligence thing, look, I wish Miss Z would talk about emotional intelligence. I dare her. Babe, if you're listening, I dare you, right? Because it's interesting to me to hear black women talk about black men not having emotional intelligence or lack of emotional intelligence, right? Or the only intimacy we know is the actual sex act. Meanwhile, everywhere else you go are non-black women talking about the reason they like black men is actually like black men. Non-black women speaking about the reason they like black men is because we know how to show intimacy outside of the bedroom. But if you let black women tell it, we treat non-black women different than we treat black women. Let them tell it, right? Emerald Edge says, so it's that bad, huh? I don't know if you're talking about what I just said, but no, I'm saying it's that good. Mr. Z is really, right? And back to the topic at hand, right? So yeah, so as I was saying to Better You, yeah, brother, the whole conversation about their sons is very interesting. Um I think you have mothers, black mothers, that because they apply so much pressure on their sons do everything to get away, and that may turn out very good, and it could turn out very bad. You could get a runaway son, right? Or you could get a LeBron James, right? You could get a Ocho Cinco, right? So yeah, that really depends. And Big Kev says, and thank you for the super chat, Big Kev. Big Kev says they are triggered over not being blonde white women. Of course. Politically, socially, economically, some of them even phenotypically. But to be honest, I don't think most black women want to be phenotypically white women. I know we have some. I would argue most black women don't want to look like white women. They don't want to be phenotypically white women. They want to be politically, economically, socially what they think white women are in this country. In other words, they really want to be the top 1% white woman. They want to be treated like the top 1% white woman. They want to be treated like one of these white women on the reality TV shows, like, I don't know, Real Housewives of Orange County or something. That's what this is really about, right? That's what this is really about. They want to be the young white woman walking around the mall with her $3,000 bag, with her teacup dog in the bag, with her wrist out, limp wristed, giving the whole mall her ass to kiss, with the vocal fry or the fake Valley Girl accent, um, very entitled because she can be entitled because she got it like that. You know who they want to be? Ivanka Trump. There you go. Ivanka Trump. Politically, socially, economically, and like I said, for some of them, phenotypically. Ivanka Trump. Right? Or one of the Bush twins. The blonde one, not the brunette. Right? That's who they want to be. So yeah, I'm with Big Kev on this. Politically, socially, economically, and for some black women, phenotypically, that's what they want. And it's understandable. A lot of women covet that particular position from white women. That's what the whole swirler divester thing is really about. That's what the whole white men are the preferred choice on online dating, in online dating. That's what it's really about. Maybe I can be phenotypically the white woman, right? Essentially, what they say about black men is truly true about non-black women, right? Y'all covet the white man's pride, so y'all covet the white man's woman because y'all don't want to do the work to be white men. Really, they're projecting. Like y'all don't often hear Mr. Z say the projecting thing, but this one is really a projection. I'm with Big Kev on this. And the data online is showing that more and more. And it's data that black men have nothing to do with. Translation: black men are not even the ones that's doing the research. Non-black people are doing the research. Uh-oh. Or people that are not black men are doing the research and coming back with the findings that, oh crap, women of color got a thing for white dudes. Uh-oh. And when we actually interview them and we ask them what it is, Patriarchy. Oh, god damn. You mean the same patriarchy that they are claim that they're fighting against in the black community, they want it in white men? Uh-oh. So patriarchy for thee, or patriarchy for me and not for thee. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm with you on this one, Big Kev. Yes. Most definitely. Right? I'm definitely with you on that one. And here's the comment. Damn you, Big Kev. This is funny. You too, Trail, because Trail's the one who put it up originally. And Big Kev says, eat the box, anime. I mean, look, if Miss Lane says all of this negative stuff about black men, and she tells black men to do better, and clearly we're inept, right? Or we just don't want to, fine. And you claim that, you're having a somewhat difficult time with non-black men, and you don't want to be their fetish, then that leaves you with either be alone or entertain same-sex relationships, right? Like, when Mr. Z was saying that a year ago, 9 months ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, now, right? Like, people thought it was a joke. Like, I was just saying it a little bit ahead of everyone else. As a matter of fact, I was saying that on the breakdown with the ladies a couple years ago, right? Because I did the math. When I say social math, I'm not joking. You say you're better than your male counterparts. They're not on your level. Okay, cool. Non-black men are too racist, right? Okay, cool. Non-black women are too racist. Okay, cool. You have an issue being single, or at least you don't enjoy you're content with being single, but you don't necessarily enjoy it. Well, then there's only one other option. And it's same-sex relationships with black women. That is why 23% of black women report some type of LGBTQ, and the largest percent of that is because of, or a significant amount of that is because of the rise in bisexuality amongst black women. Translation: I can't get the type of man I want, so I'm gonna engage in same-sex relationships. Whether that man be white, black, Latino, Asian, or otherwise, I can't get and keep the type of man I want, so I'll engage in same-sex relationships. And this is where Mr. Z comes in, telling other black women who are complaining about black men, well, either date out or go eat the box. And then this is where Trail and Big Kev come in and say, eat the box, anime. So no, we're not talking about Ike Turner and eat the cake. We telling black women, eat the box. I get O'Shea, I get Obsidian, fighting the good fight and saying no. And Mr. Z engages in it also, so let me don't be a hypocrite. Saying no, look, we have black men who are this percentage of the middle class. We have six-figure brothers. We have brothers in suits, right? We have brothers that are white collar, right? Brothers that live in nice exclusive zip codes. We have those black men. A lot of black women don't qualify. I understand that argument. I'm with that argument to a certain extent. And on the other side of that argument is Mr. Z, who says, yeah, and tell them we ain't budging. Fine, black men are trash. We ain't budging. Go date out then. And if the white man too racist and black men ain't budging, then guess what? You can always date other black women. Have fun with that DV, yikes. As I said before, the reason why I defend us and defend this position, the reason why I bring these type of things to you guys is to remind us that these are the people that are moving and shaking behind the scenes. Not all of these women are nobodies. Not all of these women are not influential. Not all of these women work a menial job. Not all of these women are hood and inconsequential in the grand scheme of things. And even for the ones that are inconsequential in the grand scheme of things. Enough of them with this message, then they are consequential. When you have Ebony K. Williams, when you have Kim Foster, when you have Miss Lane all saying the same thing, you do have to fight back. You do have to protect your image. And you do have to ask, who are these people trying to denigrate and defecate on black men's image? Who are these women? What is their dating history? What is their marriage history or lack thereof? What childhood traumas and childhood rejection are they dealing with, which is the reason why they're saying the things they're saying? What resentment do they have or are they holding that may cause them to say the things they say? And when you do all the math, then you can say the type of things that Mr. Z says. Date out or eat the box. As Big Kev said, as Trell said, eat the box, anime, and there you go. Date out. Date out or eat the box. Or eat the box and date out? I guess the white dude be down with a threesome with two black women and one of them eating the other one while he's sticking a shaft in your mouth and in her hole, I guess. Right? If black men are so horrible and they're not on black women's level, then I guess that's another thing I guess I'll start saying more and more. Eat the bucks and date out at the same time. I mean, you know, didn't Chrissy tell us she's polyandrous or something like that? Polygyny or polyandry or something like that? Well, right. And Big Kev says infantilized negrophobia. I mean, she did say the black community infantilizes us, infantilizes black men, right? And the negrophobia, how fascinating is it for black people in the black community to have negrophobia? I understand we live in a white supremacist society and we're also indoctrinated to be anti-black, but you're an adult. You're an adult. You're an adult black person who still goes through anti-black things. I think maybe not. Maybe she's one of those black people that doesn't but she said she dated outside of the black race, and you could tell she ran into the fetishy type of white dudes. So you ran into some of that, but yet you still talking crap about black men. The one group of people that would do the most and the best by you, you still talking crap about them. How is that working for you exactly? Oh wait, it's not working. Right? Maybe you should listen to some Kim Foster where she says, black women will have her back the most, if anything. And maybe y'all should really start having each other's back. I mean, sexually. Now, Kim, take it a step further. Tell black women to start having other black women's back sexually, romantically, intimately. you know what? Mr. Z is going to have to do a pre-record. We got to get into this political lesbianism bag. Oh, yeah. Yep. We got to get, you know what? Give me maybe a few days, maybe a week. Mr. Z's going to, I haven't done a pre-record in a long time. We're going to have to get into that bag. All right. I'm glad they finally saying it. This young lady admitted that swirler divester thing is not a thing for her. She know these non-black dudes ain't checking it, and if they are, it's on some fetish thing. Kim Foster is essentially saying, you know, men down, women up, men down, right? Right. She essentially is doing the C murder, I ride for my women, right? Her version of C murder, right? Emphasize Snoop Dogg's verse at the very end when he says, F what you going through and F what you stand for, right? F what you stand for and F what you going through. Kim Foster, everyone, essentially saying that to black men. Miss Lane, everyone, essentially saying that to black men. Ebony K. Williams, everyone, essentially saying that to black men. Chrissy, everyone, essentially saying that to black men. Paris Malone, everyone, essentially saying that to black men. Yanni, everyone, essentially saying that to black men. Cynthia G, everyone, essentially saying that to black men. Shira 7, name them. I ride for my women. Maybe y'all should ride together in a more intimate way. Y'all want to call black men LGBTQ and secretly on the DL? The numbers say otherwise. Uh-oh. The numbers say otherwise. Khadijah over here doing her whole best campaign to tell black men, you sure you don't want to engage in same-sex relationships? You sure you don't want to open up sexually? No, Khadijah, not interested. Just because y'all over there doing that, black women who's mad at black men because you couldn't get the type of men you want, and you know them white dudes ain't checking, just because y'all doing that don't mean we want to do it. You sure? Yes, we're sure. And shout out to the brother, the LGBTQ brother that you keep on bringing on. You know, he got some good points. We're not interested. Right? Y'all engage in political lesbianism. We not engaging in no political gay. Nope. Thank you. Yeah, we might have an issue with y'all. Yeah, we might have our issues, but going all the way there because of the issues, no. Y'all the one over there with the political lesbianism stuff. Y'all the one secretly on the DL and openly on the DL. I guess it wouldn't be DL if it's open. Yeah. Y'all the ones that's doing the bisexual thing because you can't get the type of men, including white men, that you think you deserve. Sorry, wrong word. Feel you deserve. Infantilized negrophobia. Exactly, Big Kev. Exactly. Talking about we in the black community infantilizes us. Yawn. Right? And Anubis, thank you very much for the super sticker. Thank you very much. Well, you have a coffee mug here. Thank you very much for the super chat. Right? Thank you very much. And you know what? Exactly, Mr. Shook to you. Exactly. I'm gonna actually screenshot this. I'm gonna read it out loud. I'm gonna screenshot this because I want to read it again when I cover what I'm gonna cover a little bit later today. If not this afternoon, definitely tonight, but I want to cover it this afternoon. And Mr. Shook to you says a few things come from that scenario. Speaking to what Better You asked earlier about these particular type of black women that raise sons. And Mr. Shook to you says a few things come from that scenario. The son adopts the colorful variety, funny. The son is hyper aggressive, true. The son becomes a simp, placing women needs above his own. We've seen it. The son doesn't respect authority. We've seen that also. Perfect comment. Perfect comment, Mr. Shook to you. Perfect. Um, I, I'm gonna ask someone to do this. And Mr. Shook to you also says to Compassion and Callous. Let me actually read Compassion and Callous comment first. I think everything they say is projection at this point. Agreed. I don't know about everything, Compassion. I'm a really back. I'm a step behind you. I don't think everything they say. Almost everything they say though. Like 85%, right? Like maybe 90, 85%. We'll say 85%, right? I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna say 85, right? And to compassionate and callous comment, Mr. Shook to you says, compassionate and callous, you took the words out of my mouth. I just watched a vid where women were going to DR to find husbands. The same thing they accuse men of doing, they are doing 10 times harder. So this is my question to everyone. Y'all remember the sister, kind of cute sister, light skinned sister that did the video series of the Dominican dude who she had a baby by that played her? Somebody give me the link to her channel, please, in my comments, right? Not in my live comments, but in the comment section for this video, because I actually want to go back and review that, right? I forgot the name of her channel, and I forgot her name, but I want to retroactive, because I know a couple of people covered it during the time, but I want to cover it again because this is exactly what Mr. Shook to you. This is going to what he's saying, right? These women going overseas thinking and it actually goes to Terry McMillan. Y'all going overseas because you think you've met softer, more pliable men, and them dudes play their role and play y'all, or you find out they're LGBTQ, or you bring them over here and they dip off on you the second they get their green card, or they DV your ass, or you move over there with them and then they DV your ass. Shout out to the brother who covered that. I can't remember, was it who was speaking to this brother overseas? And he was speaking about how, was he in Kenya? I want to say the brother was originally part of the nation, and then he moved to Kenya, and he was speaking about like how it's kind of sad that these sisters think they could talk to the men over there the way they talk to men over here, and they get it backhanded. Hey, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, hey, what you thought you was talking to ADOS men or Americanized black men? All that these other men in other communities know how to treat women. Yeah, the women over there know how to treat men too. Yeah, bro. Yep. Yeah. When I told y'all only got about a couple dozen countries to choose men from, when I said that on the breakdown, when I said that, I need to bring that back into my repertoire of things too. Dear women, Americanized and Western women. I'm gonna say Western women, then American women, then Black American women. You only got about 2 dozen countries to pick men from. When you factor in income and temperament, you only got about 2 dozen. If I want to be super nice, I'll say 3 dozen. But let's be very clear, about 2 dozen countries to pick men from if you're Westernized, or definitely if you're Americanized. When I said it, I meant it. I'm telling y'all I'm doing the social math. I'm not joking when I say that. I know I say it a lot. I'm not joking. If you're looking for a dude that's not going to backhand you or choke you out, a dude that earns enough, a dude that has a Western, or air quotes, I don't even want to say civilized, that's some colonial stuff. A dude that has a more feminized, we'll say, softer, more pliable to women worldview, you got about 2 dozen countries to pick from. I said it the way I meant it the first time. When I said it the first time, y'all thought I was joking. I'm not joking. Do the math. Look at all the countries on the planet. It's about 200. And think about all the countries that have a more Western worldview, a more feminized worldview, and that have the income probable with probable, well, not probable, the income that Americans have. And by the way, no country has it outside of like Singapore and like just about that. All right. Abu Dhabi and stuff like that. But then Abu Dhabi, guess what you're dealing with? Backhand. So once again, I said 2 dozen, I meant it. America, Canada, Western Europe, Japan, South Korea, those type of countries. Singapore, right? Maybe South Africa. Maybe. I said it, I meant it, but okay, And so for those of you, just give me the channel name. If anyone remember the channel I'm speaking about with the sister that went to the Dominican Republic and Buddy rode and came to America and then gave her a baby and played her ass, or she played herself and he helped to play her, I guess. Right. Thank you, Compassion and Callous. You must hate your mother equals I hate my father. More often than not, that's exactly what it means. Right? More often than not, that's exactly what it means. Compassion got another one. Compassion come with the quotes this morning. You're broke and dusty compared to white men equals I'm ugly and unwanted compared to white women. God damn, compassionate. Ugh. Ugh. That hurt. Kevin Miller with the funny, and Kevin Miller says Chrissy is a coposexual, as in coping, coposexual. God, you know what? And I think that's what you mean, right? Coposexual, like as in coping mechanism. Ah, damn. That hurt too. It's accurate as hell, by the way. And Compassion Khaled says, Z, don't underestimate that anti-socialism, bro. That shit works on everybody at the same level. At same level. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And many of us had to reprogram ourselves and socialize ourselves out of it. True. And that's for those of us who parents weren't, really on it and get it and making sure that we're not also, because the education system is not just education, it's indoctrination. Entertainment is not just entertainment in America is not entertainment in a vacuum. And I think people really struggle, women really struggle, black women really struggle with dealing with none of this is just a white man just said, oh, I'm just doing this for profit. It's not just for profit. I just want to entertain the people for profit. No messages, no power. And especially when y'all see what I covered a couple days ago, right? With the elites and them using austerity and neoliberalism for power, not just for money. As a matter of fact, they're willing to lose money to project power. You got to know, and I agree with Compassion and Callous on this. The education and the entertainment in America is about white people's power and evangelizing a particular worldview or propagating. That's the word I was looking for. A particular worldview, right? You heard that, Big Kev, right? Compassion and Callous says that's a T-shirt, Mr. Z. Infantilized negrophobia, right? I gotta give the credit to Big Kev. Big Kev's the one who came up with it, right? So yeah, yeah. Mr. Donnie Mack, exactly. Miss Cartwright, the myth of white womanhood. Indigo Flosin, get the fire slapped out that ass. Dear black women, because you know they're gonna say we try to advocate for DV. We're not advocating for DV. Let me say that again slow. PSA, dear black women, on Mr. Z's channel, we do not advocate for DV. We do not speak about it as it. We do not advocate for DV on Mr. Z's channel. What we are saying is in different cultures, in different societies around the planet, those people, those men have not been socialized to accept women speaking to them in a particular way, in a certain manner. And so those men believe in responding to what they deem as verbal abuse or what they deem as being snarky or sarcastic with being physical, right? That's what Mr. Z is saying. And what I'm saying is you have about 24 countries, maybe 3 dozen. On that one, maybe 3 dozen countries where it's not almost guaranteed that what those men deem as a verbal assault, they will respond to you with a physical response, right? So once again, we're not advocating for physical violence. We are saying that what these men in more than half of the countries on the planet Way more than that, but like more like 75%. If we're being nice, more like 90% of the countries and the different ethnicities and tribes and cultures on the planet, those men and those women have been enculturated that the men are allowed to respond to the women, maybe physically, when those women assault them verbally. And we'll leave that there. Mr. Z's PSA. Once again, we are not advocating for this. We're just speaking about how these things often go. All right. And Detroit says, also, you got to check out Nyla Farts said about black men, also in Taz, the abusives. Right. And I'll check that out. And thank you once again, Detroit, for the super chat. Thank you very much. Right. So yeah, look, that's the real in these other places. And and I'm gonna ask another question. I'm gonna ask y'all to do Mr. Z another solid. The channel, who covered it, where the brother was speaking to, was it who covered the brother speaking to the other brother, and he was young. I was surprised how young he was. He was very mature for his age. Speaking to the other brother about these sisters going to, was it Kenya, right? And them ended up, getting that work because maybe they being, they forgot they not speaking to ADOS men, and so them brothers over there respond to them a particular way, right? So could somebody put the link to that video in my comments also, please and thank you, please and thank you, right? Because this is something we have to cover. Like, y'all speaking about, and you hear this from people like Paris speaking about femicide, and every 4 hours and every 5.5 hours, and I'm like, do y'all even understand what planet you live on? They throwing acid on women in India. Do you even understand what you're speaking about? They're supposedly groping women in Japan, right? Do you even understand what planet you live on, right? What's the story of the agent from Britain that was spying on the dude in Trinidad and got hacked the hell up? White chick, back in the 70s, I want to say 70s or 80s. I want to say the 70s. Got found in his backyard somewhere, right? I want to say it was the 70s. And y'all talking about femicide. Yeah, man, y'all wouldn't know what femicide happened if the white dude was standing in front of you with the goddamn axe. You wouldn't know what femicide is. All through Central America, these Latino dudes offing their wives, straight chainsaw to her head. And they not, I want to be very clear, they're not just offing her. It's gruesome what they're doing. And y'all talk about femicide. Man, y'all don't know what planet y'all live on. Y'all don't know what planet y'all live on. Femicide. Y'all remember what website it was with all the gore and stuff like that back in the day, back in the early aughts? And all they had was weird dudes falling off their motorcycles and their faces all scraped up, or men killing men in gruesome ways, men killing women in gruesome ways. And you see all these dudes all over the Arab world, all over. And by the way, I'm not going in on Arabs, right? I'm not saying they're lesser men or anything like that, but it's a different culture. I'm not going in on Indians. I'm not going in on Central Americans, but it's a different culture. And in those cultures, and these people want to talk about, femicide. They're telling black men do better, right? They're speaking about black men's mediocrity. I'll put you south of the border and you talk like that. You talk about y'all talking about these Latino dudes, right? They're raised to be providers, right? All right. I'll put you south of the border. Let's see. Let's see if you sound like that. Let's see. Right? I don't know. Y'all let me know. I don't know. Right? And Mr. Shook to you says, putting a similar I watched in your comment section. I think I understand what you're saying. Maybe. Let me see if you clarified somewhere later. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Mr. Shook to you. Looking through the comments. Looking through the comments. Oh, that's funny, Mr. Shook to you. Exactly. Here's one, Compassion and Callous. Y'all go into third world countries to control the women's. They say that, and I would tell them to go to third. Black men in America are don't know what they're doing. The white men are too racist, whatever, whatever. Y'all go to the, because they telling us the Italian men can't keep their hands off of them. That's what they're telling us, right? Are y'all sure y'all saying it the right way? They can't keep their hands off of y'all in which way? Okay, and fine, let's say you are saying it in a more romantic, sensual way. Fine. Go end up with the Italian dudes though, then. Right? Exactly, Mr. Shook to you. Black men are colorist. Have y'all ever heard of this whole subcontinent called India and Pakistan and Bangladesh and Sri Lanka? Have y'all ever heard of that before? Colorist. Colorist. Have y'all ever heard of everything called Latin America? Colorist. Y'all ever heard of this country called Dominican Republic, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Brazil, Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala, Panama, Venezuela? Y'all never heard of those countries before? Y'all want to talk about colorism? Y'all, colorism. Like I keep on saying, y'all don't even know what planet y'all live on. Y'all don't know what planet y'all think black men are colorist. You think black American men are colorist? First of all, black men in general across the diaspora. But you think black men in America are colorist? Well, man, y'all don't know what country y'all live in. Y'all don't know what planet y'all live on. Y'all don't. Y'all just don't. Y'all don't. I drop you off in Argentina right now. I guarantee you'll stop talking about colorism when you come back to America. Colorism. Let's take a dark-skinned sister and drop her off in Dominican Republic right now. Let's see her talk about colorism when she come back. Right? And Vince Leslie says Aston and Mark meets Africa. Is that the one I'm asking for? Maybe. I'll look it up after the show. I'll look it up. Right? And Passport OG, I think he's backing you up. He says Mark in Africa, I think. Okay, maybe that's the one. Maybe that's the one. And Compassionate says like it. Oh, I think you meant to say like I said. Like I said, it's all projected. Laughing my ass off. Yeah, I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I'm not saying you guys are wrong. Well, like I said, I don't know about 100%. I'm gonna say 85 to be nice, right? Mr. Z is gonna sprinkle a little blue pill with it, right? We're gonna sprinkle a little blue pill on the comment, right? Okay, thank you, Mr. Shook to you. And Mr. Shook to you says placing link in your comment section after stream. Thank you very much, Mr. Shook to you. Thank you so much, bro. China too, bruh. Who covered? Oh yeah, we were speaking to. I don't want to put his name out there, but y'all know who the brother is that lives in China. Because I don't want him to get in trouble about such and such. So we were talking to a certain brother who's part of this space, who frequents the Roger Report show. We'll say that. And he said it. He spoke about DV, open DV in China, and like you don't often see it, but when you do see it, the police just tell him to go do that over there, shoot him away, right? Go do that somewhere else. Don't do that over here. And women in America, black women in America, got the unmitigated gall to speak about femicide. Boy, man. And by the way, do y'all really want to speak about DV in the black community? Do you really want us to speak about all of it? What y'all doing to black men? What black women are doing to black men? What black women are doing to other black women? And what black women are doing to black children in the black community? Paris, do you really want to have that conversation? Because it's going to get really ugly really fast. If you really, dear black women, black men are still playing with the gloves on. If we really wanted to go tit for tat, we would silence you in no time. You really don't want to have that dear black women, like Miss what's her last name? I forgot already. Right? Miss Lane, y'all really don't want to have these type of conversations about mediocrity, about do better. You don't want to have that real. Mr. Z is still playing with the gloves on. Other black men and majority in the black manosphere are still playing with the gloves on. In majority, black men in the black manosphere are still playing with, we're still boxing with the gloves on. Right? If we have an honest conversation about DV, if we have an honest conversation about child A, we'll say, right? Do you know how ugly that'd get and how fast it would get ugly for black women? If we start speaking about proxy violence, you think what Homegirl did with the football player? If you do, you really want us to start documenting that? All the news stories, such and such was walking home one night and then drive by and he got killed, and it's linked to his ex-girlfriend, or it's linked to a girl that he met and it was a setup. Do y'all really want us to start doing that? You really want us to start documenting all the Halle Berry cases of the current boyfriend fighting the old boyfriend because of her? Y'all really want us to start documenting the black men getting sicked on other black men on some Jada Pinkett and Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith type thing? Y'all want us to start documenting that? Y'all want to talk about DV? Paris, do you really want to go there? Do better. The young ladies should do better. Black men are doing better. That's why we haven't aired out black women's dirty laundry. We still haven't aired out black women's dirty laundry. In majority, I mean vast majority, we still haven't aired out black women. By the way, black women, y'all have went nuclear on black men multiple times. Y'all damn near came out the civil rights movement going nuclear on black men. I didn't even talk about the plantation yet. Y'all came out of Jim Crow going nuclear on black men. Y'all pressed the red button the day after papers started being signed. Black men haven't gone. We didn't even really start shooting conventional weapons. All this little back and forth, you know, black men still having. That's why what y'all doing doesn't move the needle. Crystal and Kerrison, why don't they do a documentary? They're over here because 101 East covered some of the stuff that's going on. I want to say it was in Japan. It was either South Korea and Japan. The relationship between the men and the women in South Korea and Japan. And Crystal and Kerrison talking about they need to do it on black men and in the black community. Dear black women like Crystal and Kerrison, they already have. That's why that's why they won't do it anymore. It's not gonna move the needle because y'all went nuclear already. Y'all threw out everything you had already. The DL stuff, the DV stuff, right? The leaving us for white women stuff, the living off of us stuff, the touching kids stuff. Y'all did all of it already. That's why it doesn't move the needle. So when the young lady says do better, ma'am, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know how good you have it. You struggling in your dating life and you talking crap about black men, not understanding how good you have it. In another country, they might have came and seen you. You don't know how good you have it. All you doing is struggling in the dating world? Man, get out of here. And if you think that's me belittling your struggle, that's because I am. Right? And exactly in Indigo Flow. Let me take the worst thing an individual black men did and extrapolate that to black men in general. Exactly. Exactly. And sprinkle into that, let me take what elite men get away with, and let me extrapolate that to all men, particularly black men. Let me let's make slight correction to that. Let me take what the black men I covet, the white men I covet, the Latino men I covet get to do with women like me and extrapolate it to all men, particularly black men. I.e., Alexa, play all the videos from all the shows, the Fresh and Fits, the the Kevin Samuels, the all just all of them. Let's talk. Name them. Oh my God, I'm damn near drawing a blank because I'm trying to shoot all of them out. All the videos from all the channels, from Alba and Pre, all of these channels, where men of varying races and backgrounds. I'm not going to list the white ones. Of varying backgrounds, speaking to women, saying, "You do know that most men don't have it easy when it comes to sex, right? You know most men ain't having sex with multiple women, right? You know, like 1/3 of men didn't have sex last year under a certain age, right?" And women are like, "Oh, I never thought about that. Who would have thunk?" Exactly. So sprinkle onto what you're saying, Indigo Flow, right? The fact that they take the men that they covet, the men that they drool over, the men that are having sex with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different women at a time, they take those men and what they're able to do and extrapolate it to all men, particularly black men, right? So yeah, maybe Chisel Chin Tyrone with the 13-inch member is going around blowing black men, women's back out, blowing white women's back out, blowing Latina women's back out, blowing Asian women's back out, and then he doubling back and then having sex with dudes too. And they take what that dude is doing and say, yeah, that's what all black men are doing, or that's what most black men are doing, or that's what most black men wish they could do. No, the black men and the white men and the Latino man and the Asian men you covet, that's what they're doing. That's not a man thing, and that's definitely not a black man thing, writ large. So add on to what you say, what I said also, Indigo. I agree with you. And Michael Ross, thank you very much for the super sticker. Thank you very much. Right? And Namer says, Z, in some countries, a woman's family will have her disappear for bringing dishonor, disgrace, shame to the family. We see it. We see, yo, your own husband won't be the one to touch you. It'll be your brother, literally your own, like your biological brother, or your dad, or an uncle, or a male cousin. I'm not joking. Ask them if I'm joking. And yet we allow in America women, black women, to break up with their boyfriends. They initiated the breakup. Remember that. To break up with their baby daddies, to divorce their husbands, and to spend the rest of their life defecating on that man's name, on his image, on his likeness. We let her spend the rest of her life doing that. Her family lets her do that for the rest of her life. His family lets her do that for the rest of her life. And in other countries and other cultures, they would have disappeared her ass. Her family would have disappeared her ass. Not even his family, her family. And we have people like Chris, well, not so much Chrissy, like Paris Milan talking about femicide. Like I said, you don't know what excuse me, you don't know what planet you living on. You don't. Right? You don't know. Or you do know, you just talking, which is the one I lead to, quite frankly. This young lady doesn't seem dumb. Putting money, this young lady is not dumb. It's just anti-black male propaganda. Black misandrist propaganda. Because the type of men she feels like she deserves, she can't either get or keep. Right? And there you go. 25% of black women identify as gay. They are projecting. Yeah, right. It's like, yeah, I remember something like 23, 25, 28, something like that, right? Percent of them. And it's mainly because of the bisexuality. Translation, I can't get the type of man I want, so I'm going to go ahead and chill over here with women until the type of man I want comes through. Giggity. Pun intended. Thank you, Charles Irby. Exactly. Exactly. And this lady talking about do better. Right? She's talking about do better. And she's telling you she's not going to change for anyone. Right? And she's telling you black men have an issue with black women's boundaries and standards and wanting more out of life. Well, then go date same sex then. Go eat the box then. Right? This is why Mr. Z covers these type of topics. Y'all see, y'all know Mr. Z covers class things. I love talking class. I love talking income. I love an income, not in a giggity way, hysterical, right? I love talking finance. I love it, and not in that mumbo jumbo finance financial literacy stuff. Which by the way, Mr. Z does think financial literacy is important. I don't think it's the issue. I think it's a issue in the black community, right? But I love talking that type of stuff. But also this, why does Mr. Z cover this? Because I think all of these are linked. I think black women feel the pressure financially, and instead of asking for help, they demand you do. They shriek and yell and moan and yell and complain and yell and talk and yell and shame and yell and pretend like they're unbothered and yell, right? They whisper and yell. They put out negative propaganda on black men and yell, right? They're feeling that pressure. They feel the pressure of racism and anti-blackness. They feel the pressure of the economy. Right now, they're feeling the pressure of greedflation, stagflation, however you want to call it. And instead of saying, okay, black men, I need some help. Let's negotiate. Let's see. And let's be honest, most brothers isn't going to negotiate. Most of y'all are not 10 toes down, stomp down pimps. Let's be clear. Most black men are not. We all know it. We could stop pretending. And instead of getting to the table and negotiating with black men in good faith, instead of getting to the table and negotiating with black men in bad faith, but good faith, instead of getting to the table and negotiating and compromising with black men in good faith, and yes, black men reserve the right for the majority say so. Why? Because Mr. Z said so. We got majority stake of this. It's ours. Instead of getting to the table and negotiating with black men your minority stake and what you get and what your say is going to be, y'all rather shriek and complain and propagate negative images and negative rhetoric. Fine then. Deal with the consequences. Live at your parents' home until you damn near 40, or go live with some old dude with wrinkled balls. Talking about you love him. Shout out to Khalees. No, you don't. She ain't say all of that yet. Right? And this is not a slight to Bill Murray. Right? Or go live with a sibling. Or go have a roommate. Everybody talking about black men. Y'all the ones that's really living at home with the parents. What the black women doing? You 28 living with a 42-year-old, right? You 32 living with a 53-year-old. Ooh, right? And this is not a slight to the brothers and the white dudes that are 53. This is saying I'm pretty sure women, if they were able to be with a dude 5 years older than them with that type of money and status that you have, they would have took that choice. Hey, but this is the way the cookie crumble. It's not men, it's the women, right? And Walter King says, thank you, Mr. Z and Kevin Samuels, for exposing the egocentrism, solipsism, and narcissism of modern black women. And that's all it is. And like I said, I understand the environment. I give black women an out. All my subscribers see that. I give black women an out. I give them an out. It's fascinating to be like, I'll give you that door right there. I'm going to slam all the other doors. All these other doors are locked, but I'll give you an exit. And you be so egotistical, so angry, seething, resentful that you ain't an upper middle class, rich or elite white woman that you say, no, I ain't even going to go out that door. Right? Wow. Trell said, I'm 42 looking for 32. F-U-Z. I'm not faulting you, Trell. I'm not faulting you. Right? And we've seen that throughout human history. There's nothing wrong. I'm just saying, we all know the way the women would rather have it. Right? She would rather be with, if she's 32, she would rather be with a 38-year-old Trell than a 48-year-old Trell. I'm not faulting 48-year-old Trell for being with 32-year-old Miss Trell, Miss Bentley, right? I'm just saying. But the way the cookie crumbles is, if she want access to 48-year-old Trell's money, then she's going to have to get with 48-year-old Trell, right? That's on her. Right. Just don't knock her out when you teabag. Anyway, right? And compassionate says, again, everything projection. LOL, give me the valid critique they levy towards black men, and I'll concede. It must be one right. LOL. I don't know. Hey, Trell, name of backing you up. He said, I'm 40 looking for a tenderoni. Screw you, Z. Right? And that's all we're saying. So, wrapping up, and thank y'all for being in here with me for goddamn 2.5 hours. Mr. Z did a solo 2.5 hours. Goddamn. That just happened. That just happened, right? And sure, let's read Charles' comment real quick. And Charles Irby says, I spent time in Morocco 3 years ago at 39 years old. During that time, I had women as young as 20 years old asking me if I was looking for a wife. Women in other countries prefer older gentlemen. I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that. Right. I agree with that. Victor Creed said, hell, I got a 21-year-old on my heels right now. Look, Mr. Z is in his mid-30s. And yes, I've been flirted with by 21-year-olds. Like, overtly. And we're talking about hood sisters, too. It's the beard. It's the beard. But, right? So, yes, I get it. But what I'm saying is, compassionate. Read the comment, everyone. Read the comment. Right? But, at the end of the day, this is the issue. And getting back to the topic at hand. young ladies like this, right? And I'm calling her young lady. Young ladies like this have an issue with their dating and mating prospects. They throw a fit because their dating life isn't going the way they want. And they go out there and spread negative propaganda about black men. That's all it is, right? You you don't like the outcome of what you are. If it's not working for you with black men and it's not working for you with non-black men, you're a heavy-set, dark-skinned black woman. I have seen black women that look just like her walking down the wedding aisle. I have watched them walking down the aisle. I have watched black women that look just like her get married. But you know what they were? Nice, jovial, cool to be around. Yeah, they were dark skinned, and yes, they were heavy set. But you know what they weren't? An a-hole. You know what they didn't have? Contempt for black men. So yeah, dark skinned and heavy set black women can get married in America to a black man. Right? And and here's what making it. And yes, her husband does earn more than her. That part too. No, he's not living on her. Yeah, that part too. How about try not being an a-hole? Right? How about that? How about trying not to be an a-hole? How about drop trying to get patriarchy and feminism at the same time? How about trying to not shame black men into being the super ultra mega rich wealthy white man that you wish you had? Ooh, goddamn, Mr. Z. How about that? How about that? And you too can get a black man to marry you and take care of you, relative take care of you. And once again, women file for like 80% of divorces in the black community. So yeah, it's not up to him if you stay, it's up to you if you stay. Dear black women, you live in a free and open society, an increasingly egalitarian society. This is the beauty of your parents not forcing you to get married, of society not forcing you to get married, of there not being any shame for you not being married. If they're not even being shamed for you not having a man, a boyfriend. This is the beauty of it. You get to live life on your own terms for the good and bad of it. So no, no more telling black men do better. No. Find the man that suits you and be down with him. It's as simple as that. Dear Miss Lane, it's as simple as that. Right? You talk about your boundaries and standards. Well, there go some standards for you. Right? You're an unconventional plus size black woman. You are an alternative tongue tied alternative black woman. Fine. Find the man that fits you. Right? And if not, well, same sex relationships are always there. Right? And Anubis says, have you seen Kim Foster's tweet? Oh boy, what did she say this time? Put the link in the comments. Oh boy. Right? So yeah, that we'll end with that. We'll close out with that. There's no reason to really make fun of the young lady. She's just frustrated and angry that she can't get or keep the type of men she feels like she deserves. All of that talk that she did was that. It's that all of this little PSA that they're doing on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, all of that, right? On Snapchat, all of that is literally them just throwing a fit because they can't get or keep the type of men they feel they deserve. All right. And so they're gonna shriek, like I said, they're gonna yell, they're gonna throw temper tantrums, they're gonna spread negative PR about black men, they're gonna try to gaslight you about how non-black men are better, non-black men know how to protect their women, they provide for their women, they're raised to be providers and protectors. Meanwhile, you look at the median income for men in America and then you wonder what the hell these women are talking about. Right? So yeah, okay, Neyman says I gotta send you a clip by a guy looking a husband roommate at Z. Yeah, put all of the links, just put them in the comments. I'm gonna check them out. Thank you, you guys. Thank you. Right. So, and we'll end out right there. Y'all, thank you very much for spending the past 2 and 45 minutes, damn near 3 hours. Damn, Mr. Z. Um, 2 hours and 45 minutes with me, give or take a minute or two. Thank you very much for listening in, right? Um, Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit a thank you button for the replay squad. I wanted to cover this. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson for covering this and knocking it out in less than 15 minutes. Well, actually, was this more like 17 minutes or something like that? It might have been something closer to that. Mr. Z took a whole 2 hours, damn near 3 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes, right, to cover it. But once again, thank you very much for covering this, O'Shea. I covered it also. I wanted to give my take. And y'all know Mr. Z is long-winded as hell. Thank you for spending y'all Friday morning, payday Friday for some of us. Thank y'all for listening in. Like I said, this young lady is just frustrated. She's not particularly ugly. She says she's heavy set, she's alternative, she's darker skin, right? Mr. Z's girl is light skinned, but Mr. Z is partial to dark skinned black women, right? I obviously I find light skinned black women attractive. I'm with one, right? But and so that's why I always find it interesting. And I know a bunch of brothers, right? Y'all remember what we were on Charles' channel or BGS channel, and we were just shouting out what we find attractive, and like half of it was sisters that wouldn't pass the brown paper bag test for nobody. So it's just fascinating to me to watch black women talk about this colorism thing, like black men like are obsessed with light skinned black women or racially ambiguous black women. Like what? What? Right? So it's a thing for maybe some black women, but it's not it's a thing for some black men maybe, but it's not a thing for most black men, right? So yeah. And we'll pause right there on that. Like I said, the young lady's just frustrated. She reminds me of the very, very attractive sister I covered last year or the year before, crying after the wedding that she went to, talking about she's not gonna, she's afraid that she's not gonna be able to give the man she meets any babies, and saying, I don't want a nigga, I want that nigga. Like, yeah, and she was highly attractive. So if she's going through it, and this sister's going through it, yeah, and Kim, and not Kim Foster, and Ebony K. Williams is going through it, it's y'all. Because black men are the trash men of the dating world. Even Chrissy had to concede that it's easy to get a black man. Then she want to say we're insufferable afterward. Yeah, whatever. You admitted that it's easy to get us. That means it's you. When you slipped up and said that, Chrissy, you know what you invited. That's why you tried to fix it. But they're insufferable when you get them. No. That means it's you. Dear black women, y'all brag all day. It's easy to get a black man. It's easy to have sex with a man. It's sex with a man is easy, right? Isn't that what Yanni is telling us? That means it's you, ladies. At least Miss Lane admitted she knows she can't really deal good with it. Miss Lane, you could pull a white dude. What type of white dude? Now that's a different question. The caliber of white dude, that's a different question. Right? And yeah, it's most likely gonna be on some fetish thing. Yes. At least you know it. Right? But yeah, y'all gotta admit it's you. Chrissy, is it true? Black men have 500,000 more. It's more than 500,000. 500,000 more marriages than black women. Y'all can talk all that divorce stuff y'all want. We have less of a population than black women, and yet 500,000 more marriages than black women. With all the positive PR black women are getting, all of the college degrees black women have, all the positions in the middle management positions y'all got. And don't act like y'all not busting it open for Jorge in these law offices and for Brad. And yet black men still have more than 500,000 marriages than black women. Who's really the insufferable one, Chrissy? Who? Who's really the insufferable one, Chrissy? Who's really the one that has to do better, Miss Lane? Who? Right? And on that note, truly, like, share, subscribe. I'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, right? Indigo Flow, thank you for the super sticker. I want to say it last minute, right? Indigo Flow, thank you for the super sticker. And you know I like to keep my super stickers and super chats up for a while because I like to make sure that people see who's donating, and thank you very much. Thank y'all for listening in, man. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate that y'all enjoy my perspective. You know, so we'll pause right there, truly. I see Dr. Thunder is about to stream in a little bit. And so is the Roger Report. So y'all go check them out. Go, like I say, go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, so you don't sound like this young lady because clearly she don't know what she's talking about. Dear Miss Lane, go check out the median income for men in America. Right? Please. Charles Irby, I already know the comments are coming from me. And Charles Irby said, I married 2 light-skinned women, but I always found dark-skinned women attractive. Dark-skinned women weren't checking for me, but light-skinned girls always showed me love. I'm waiting, bro. I can't wait until I hear a sideways comment from a dark-skinned sister one day when I'm walking with my lady. I'ma light her ass up. I can't. I've been waiting. Ooh, Mr. Z been waiting. I'ma light her ass the hell up. Right? I'm waiting for a family member to say something. I'm waiting for a family friend to say something. I'm waiting for a sideways comment in a store. I'm a flame her ass. Right? Because Miss Z treats Mr. Z pretty good. Right? You know how Mr. Z is. Mr. Z still skeptical because I'm a black man in America and a black man part of the Black Manosphere. So y'all know how I am. Right? One eye open. But Miss Z treat Mr. Z pretty good. I'm waiting for a dark-skinned sister to come out her mouth on some. You see, they always choose that. I'm waiting. Right? Because it's not no colorism over here, which is why Mr. Z is with Miss Z. They be the ones to try you, insult you, overlook you, then they see you with a cute light-skinned sister or racially ambiguous sister, and they go to get to the colorism talk. Right? And then they start doing the colorism talk. Yawn. Right? So we'll truly pause right there. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, right? And definitely non-Manosphere content, so y'all don't sound like this sister who, once again, I told her, go check the median income for men, ma'am, in America. Talking about 6 figures. Right? You don't even know what you're talking about. Anyway, and do better, right? And mediocrity. Y'all don't know the numbers. Y'all really don't. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Mr. Z out. All right, y'all.